Acting President directs Nigeria Police Force to overhaul its special anti-robbery squad for optimum performance. National Assembly yet to reconvene as the All Progressive Congress insists Saraki resigns or be impeached. United States gives pass mark to Nigeria's agricultural policy. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kudu Abubakar in Abuja. Elizabeth Omorui is in Lagos, and in Enugu we have Bright Ebocho, and Abdullahi Mohammed is in Kaduna. Following persistent complaints and reports on the activities of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, that border on allegations of human rights violations, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has directed the Inspector General of Police to, with immediate effect, overhaul the management and activities of SARS and ensure that any unit that will emerge from the process will be intelligence-driven and restricted to the prevention and detection of armed robbery and kidnapping, and apprehension of offenders linked to the stated offences, and nothing more. A statement by Laolu Akonde, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, to the Acting President on Media and Publicity, also directed the Inspector General of Police to ensure that all operatives in the emerging unit conduct their operations in strict adherence to the rule of law and with due regard to international human rights law and the constitutionally guaranteed rights of suspects. The operatives, he said, should also bear proper identification anytime they are on duty. In the meantime, the Acting President has directed the National Human Rights Commission to set up a special panel that will conduct an investigation of the alleged unlawful activities of SARS in order to afford members of the public the opportunity to present their grievances with a view to ensuring redress. The statement, I beg your pardon, the Presidency has reacted to a report in the Daily Independent newspaper alleging that pressure mounts on Buhari not to seek re-election, saying it is fiction paraded as news. A statement by the Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, said countries mentioned in the story to hold President Buhari in high esteem and appreciate what he is doing for Nigeria and Nigerians. Some of the nations, according to the statement, are bastions of democracy and will not interfere in the democratic affairs of a sovereign country. By saying that it got feelers that President Buhari may opt out of the 2019 presidential election, the statement says, Daily Independent newspaper embarrassed itself and all those who loved good journalism. In the last few days, some Nigerian dailies and social media published that the National Assembly will reconvene today, 14th of August 2018, to consider the Independent National Electoral Commission's budget for 2019 general elections, as submitted by President Muhammadu Buhari before the Assembly embarked on recess. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports that the members did not reconvene.
Well, most Nigerians, and in fact some members of the National Assembly themselves, thought that they would reconvene today, being Tuesday the 14th of August 2018. But then, from what is on ground at the moment, both chambers of the National Assembly, that is that of the Senate and House of Representatives, are still under lock and key, signifying the fact that the plenary will not reconvene today. But then the leadership of both chambers had earlier met and agreed to reconvene to consider the 2018 supplementary budget and the Independent National Electoral Commission budget for 2019 general elections. And then this is to ensure that the electoral umpire commence early preparations for the 2019 general election. But then, as it is at the moment, the plenary is not reconvening today, and in reaction to the purported resumption, the Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, in a joint statement, explained that plenary is supposed to reconvene after the Senate and the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters had met and deliberated on the proposal. But it explained that at the moment, the Joint Committee of Electoral Matters are yet to meet, and therefore there's no date or time fixed for now for resumption by the members. It will be recalled that the National Assembly had adjourned on the 24th of July 2018 to reconvene on the 25th of September.
Still on Nigeria's apex legislature, Nigerians have been reacting to the inability of the National Assembly to reconvene for the consideration of INEC's budget for 2019 general elections. Omotola Omojola has this report.
It is not good for the country that the National Assembly could not reconvene to discuss the issue as vital as the budget of the INEC, which definitely will impact very negatively on the conduct of 2019 elections.
If you look at it, those committees has been set up a week ago. What have they been doing for almost a week now that they cannot be able to conclude their request to their report and submit it back to the National Assembly?
How we say the National Assembly should learn how to put a clear demarcation between politics and governance.
If the people we have in the National Assembly are behaving this way, acting in self-defense, in self-orchestration, then we have a problem.
For the budget of the INEC, the body that is in charge of that election, for their budget not to be, or what's supposed to have the legislative activity that must take place before they can have access to their money to do that election. The people that we voted for to be there to represent our interests, if they are now representing personal interests by embarking on unnecessary recess for selfish motive, I don't think it's good for our democracy.
They think Nigeria is in their hands. They think they can just play with anybody. They think they can do anything they just want, just for their selfish interest.
You could have done that included in 2018 budget, or you send it as a supplementary.
2019, we are talking of less than 6 months now. If by now they are still making one excuse or the other, does it mean that it's a way of trying to substitute the election or what?
Exactly 1 week ago, the National Assembly was barricaded by security agents, eliciting condemnation from within and outside the country. Timothy Yusuf takes a look at the incidents against the backdrop of the immediate response of the federal government, with insights on similar incidents in the past within the current political dispensation.
On the 20th of November 2014. It was like a tug of war between the security agencies and assembly members. At the inner quarters of the assembly, it was another confusion, this time among the members themselves, with the then Senate President visibly in it.
We are not happy. What happened to us today? This is our land. It's our country. Nobody will divide us. Our father.
In this incident, the then PDP government of the day was not forthcoming in its response to the fracas, despite allegations leveled against it as the perpetrator.
What happened to us in 2014? As of today, nothing happened. Nobody is apprehended. Nobody is charged for anything that done to the National Assembly.
And it was state-sponsored, because you can remember people like Olisametu, Doyin Okukpe. They came praising what the police did at that time.
The last time, where Tamboa and other House of Rep has been denied access to the National House Assembly, nothing has happened, because the government is not serious.
My name is Aminu Waziri Tambol, the Speaker of this House. Absolutely.
Are you true citizens of this country, my friends?
Officer, how are you? Please approach me, please.
But this was not the case of the Second National Assembly barricade on Tuesday, 7th of August 2018. The APC government led by President Muhammadu Buhari made a quick response in condemning the act and actively dissociated itself with the development. Director General of the Department of State Services, Lawa Daura, immediately lost his job under the directive of the Presidency.
The National Assembly is the people's parliament. That's the assemblage of Nigerians. Those are the representatives of Nigerians. So whatever that will lead to desecration of the hallowed chambers, we must be very careful how we follow it. That apart, why the reputation of what happened last week by one of the security agencies is because there was no deterrent and what happened in 2014. And this time around, well, I must give kudos to the acting president for acting swiftly.
2014, you can say that that was outright state-sponsored terrorism, the state-sponsored attack on a legitimate National Assembly in which the APC was in majority. It might interest you to know, using figures, that when Tambuwal and others moved over to APC, APC as a party was in majority. In the House, they had 181 members of the House. And PDP then had about 156. Other parties combined were 23. So either way you look at it, APC was in majority. There was no moral burden for Tambuwal to share the crown of being the leader of the House of Rep. Unlike what we see today, whereby APC is in majority. Yes, Saraki can take his rightful decision to move out of the party, but not to go outside the party, where both the leader, the Senate President and the Deputy are in the opposition.
We in Nigeria, we have seen the difference between the last government and the present government. We know that this government is a government that obeys rules and regulations. It's the government that likes the democracy to mature. It's the government that concerned with the national development of this country.
General consensus says this prompt action by the Buhari administration is a veritable lesson not only for Nigeria's democracy, but for Nigeria as a nation in its quest for the desired political culture for the people and for the African continent. As for Nigerians, by this act, the nation is taking its leadership role on the continent and a shining example to the world. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Still on National Assembly, correspondent Laimi Ali now recalls the reactions by the APC caucus of the House of Representatives in the aftermath of the barricade.
In a swift reaction to the barricade at the National Assembly, the All Progressives Congress caucus immediately issued a press statement vehemently condemning the incident, which it described as inimical to democratic tenets in the country, and commended the prompt action taken by the federal government against it.
That the DG of the DSS was summarily fired by the presidency. Those are facts. And I think what these facts point to is that we all stand together to defend our democracy. Nobody here would accept what happened.
As a caucus, we are one, and we are with our president, and that is President Muhammadu Buhari, and we are even with him, with the decision and the actions both the president and the acting president have taken the last few days.
The caucus expressed disappointment on how the barricade was being given partisan coloration, noting that the APC stands to condemn any move that threatens democracy in Nigeria, and recalled that unlike a similar barricade of the National Assembly in November 2014, in which the government of the day was not fully absolved of blame for such incidents, in this case, the APC government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, came out fully to condemn the barricade.
The president, we know for a fact, was not aware of what happened, was not involved, and the moment he heard, he took the right decisions. We remember vividly in 2015 or 2014, when the same thing, or perhaps even worse, happened in the National Assembly. Our PDP members stood with us, and today we would have wished that they were here for us to stand with them shoulder to shoulder.
It, however, urged all stakeholders to await outcome of investigations and emergence of facts of what actually transpired, as well as security involvement in the matter. The lawmakers equally urged Nigerians to continue to be law-abiding in line with democratic tenets for the good of the country. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress, APC, says its attention has been drawn to sinister plans by the People's Democratic Party to attack some APC senators as part of the PDP's desperate bid to ensure that Dr. Bukola Saraki clings to the position of Senate President. A statement by the APC Acting National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Yekini Nabena, therefore advised security agents to protect APC senators as well as to closely monitor the activities of some leaders of the PDP, including the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, because the APC says planned attack is real and imminent. The statement said the PDP is worried over APC's Senate majority and considered several options to stop the impeachment of Senator Saraki, among which is attacking some APC senators to ensure their inability to attend legislative sittings. It alleged that the PDP has recruited thugs for this purpose, saying the revelation did not come to the APC as a surprise because the Senate President, through proxies, has made several failed attempts to buy over APC senators with 100 million naira each. The statement said APC does not believe in inducing lawmakers to achieve its legitimate goal of removing Senator Saraki as Senate President. And APC is confident of getting the support of some PDP senators to achieve the required 2/3 majority votes to impeach Senator Saraki. The statement said APC is already talking to some PDP senators to believe and support the direction of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration to achieve its legitimate goal, reiterating its call for Senator Saraki's immediate resignation as Senate President, noting that he cannot lead the Senate when APC is in the majority. The statement further went on to say that the decisions by both the Senate President and Speaker Yakubu Dogara not to reconvene the National Assembly further buttresses APC's position that Senator Saraki is ever ready to pursue his selfish interest over and above national interest. The statement added that not reconvening the National Assembly is another brazen display of Senator Saraki's penchant to abuse his powers and sabotage government no matter the cost and implication. The statement also said, while Senator Saraki and his cohorts continue to postpone their doomsday regarding leadership change, the yet-to-be-considered 2019 budget of the Independent National Electoral Commission is dangerously being delayed. The outcome of the recently concluded by-elections in the 3 states of Kogi, Bauchi, and Katsina would reflect the pattern and outcome of the presidential elections of 2019. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said this while receiving delegation of All Progressives Congress members from Kogi State, including the newly elected member representing Kogi Kotonkarfe Federal Constituency, in his office. He noted that it is a reassuring trend which the party hopes will continue.
Be the true ambassadors of this predictable success that will come in 2019 and go and ensure that there are absolutely no stone is left unturned in mobilizing our people and sinking into their consciousness the need for them to go out and pick up their PVCs if they have not done that. If they have not registered, those of them, our siblings that have come of age by now, the process is still ongoing.
The Kogi State APC delegation was in the SGF's office to show solidarity and support for President Muhammadu Buhari. The Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has resolved to adopt direct primaries to elect candidates who will fly the party's flag at 2019 general elections. National leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who stated this at the stakeholders meeting, says party members in the state remain committed to the values and principles of the APC and President Muhammadu Buhari. Ken Egwelwe has the details.
Stakeholders meeting provided the opportunity for the leadership of the party in the state to deliberate on some of the far-reaching resolutions of the party to members. The national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said it was gratifying to report that the party had resolved to register additional members, adding that the membership registered would be open to facilitate the process, which will eventually be used for direct primaries.
We appeal to all our members to update the membership registration and embrace the direct primary that has just been introduced and adopted by our party. The party is gone back to the owners of the party. That is you, the people.
On the defection of members to other political parties, Bola Tinubu said members of APC in Lagos will not defect, but rather they are resolute and steadfast to the party. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
A report just reaching us says the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has approved the registration of 23 new political parties from 144 applications it received from associations seeking registration. A statement issued by the National Commissioner and Member, Voter Education and Publicity Committee, Muhammad Kudu Haruna, indicates that the registered 23 political parties met the requirements. This brings to the number of political parties to 91 and will be the last round of registration of political parties until after the general elections on the 16th of February 2018. Similarly, the INEC has extended the continuous voter registration exercise to the 31st of August 2018, which was earlier scheduled to end on the 17th of August based on appeals from Nigerians. However, the collection of permanent voters' cards will continue until close to the general elections. In Zamfara State, the acting president, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, has commissioned various projects worth 5 billion naira constructed in various parts of the state, with a call on the beneficiaries to imbibe the habit of maintenance culture for their durability. The commissioning of the projects, which cut across various sectors, are part of the activities marking the 7th year of Governor Abdulaziz Yari's administration in Zamfara State. Time now to take a break to bring you some messages. Stay with the NTA. Don't go away.
People, no let Palasa phone fall your hand this year. Kia go buy 3G or 4G smartphone or bring that your phone join MTN and then go summer you with 100% awoof data bam on top every data bundle way you buy for the next 3 months. So drop that Palasa now. Change your levels so that you go fit enjoy fast internet on the network we get data for everywhere for we country Nigeria. This offer day open to new and old MTN customers.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Admissions for 2018-2019 academic session is ongoing. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
Winning in hot and dry conditions is hard. Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool.
Dettol soap is now also available for 100 naira only.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Dettol team is visiting schools to teach children how to protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold? No! They are spread through germs which are everywhere. You collect germs that cause diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands and taking your bath with Dettol soap to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath, bath, bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has been conferred with the World Leadership Award by Abuja University, Suwon, in the Republic of Korea. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports that this is in recognition of our contributions to uplifting the living standards of women and children, especially the girl child. The report.
Buhari initiatively found future assured to continue her advocacy work for the health and well-being of women and children through community mobilization and health promotion.
This is Professor Hon Han, Dean of the College of Humanities of Abuja University, Swansea, South Korea, enumerating what he described as an uncommon strides towards building the future of the Nigerian women and children by the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. These and many humanitarian gestures geared towards ensuring meaningful life for the less privileged and downtrodden in Nigeria and across Africa, especially in education, health and empowerment, is what attracted the Abuja University Council to have resolved to confer on her World Leadership Award. While conferring her, the president of the university, Professor Hunju Park, congratulated Mrs. Buhari for her services to humanity within the continent of Africa and Nigeria in particular, and urged her to extend similar gesture across the globe in an effort to making the world a better place.
We have decided to honor Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari's effort and achievement to assure the future of the common people and encourage world leaders to aspire to the qualities of good leadership.
The wife of the president, who was full of happiness with this meritorious award, reaffirmed her determination for not relenting in her plans and actions towards a better future for the Nigerian women and children, including outside the shore of Africa.
The honor done to me today at the Abuja University here in Korea definitely spurred me to continue with my passion in supporting the needy, not only in Nigeria, but anywhere I have the opportunity. I'm happy to note that as the philosophy of this university will collaborate with my Future Assured initiative under my foundation, Aisha Buhari Foundation, to train students in practical development of acquired knowledge and development of education.
She called on well-meaning individuals to come on board in making life better for these vulnerable groups in the society. In Swansea, Republic of Korea, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says as the country inches towards the 2019 general elections, media practitioners have a duty to ensure that fake news is not promoted through any media. The minister restated this during his visit to the corporate headquarters of the Blueprint newspaper in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
Estimating the management of the Blueprint newspaper on the rationale behind the campaign, the minister reeled out the dangers inherent in spreading, publishing, or broadcasting of fake news. He said, with the 2019 general elections fast approaching, the Nigerian media must live above board.
It is important that the media should be at the forefront of this campaign, because not only does fake news pose a clear and present danger to the security of any country, but incidentally, the first casualty of fake news is the media itself. Because once it is recognized or accepted that a particular media outlet cannot be relied upon for the integrity of its news, then that media organization will lose credibility.
He, however, expressed disappointment at the rate with which fake news was used in exacerbating the National Assembly barricade.
Because the world was made to believe that APC senators were allowed access to the National Assembly to impeach Senate President, while the PDP senators were being denied access. As a matter of fact, a serving senator went on air.
He also cited a news which had it that the sacked DSS DG had 21 billion naira in his residence alongside some weapons. On his part, while responding, the publisher and chief executive officer, Mohammed Idris, said the national campaign against fake news is a campaign every responsible media will embrace, and having known the danger it poses on society, politicians, he said, are known to be guilty of promoting it. Hence the need for them to first be wary.
First and foremost, the politicians, especially as elections are around the corner, must tell themselves that they do not have any other country apart from Nigeria. If this country burns today, if you were contesting to be a senator or to be a governor, who are you going to govern if you had no country? Every human being that is comfortable wants to have peace, because without peace,
it will be recalled that the federal government launched the national campaign against fake news on the 11th of July this year. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The leadership of the All Progressives Congress has met with APC senators and APC members of the House of Representatives, calling on the leadership of the National Assembly to reconvene in order to avoid constitutional crisis. This is among matters of urgent attention that engaged participants at the meeting. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi reports.
These are members of the APC National Working Committee and party's National Assembly caucus before the commencement of the tripartite meeting in Abuja. The decision of the current leadership of the National Assembly not to reconvene on Tuesday, 14th August 2018 as earlier scheduled, and the need for APC as a governing party and with the majority at the bicameral legislature to re-strategize on how to reaffirm its leadership position dominated discussion. National Chairman of APC, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, reassured Nigerians that APC as a governing party is committed to lead the country with absolute regards to the rule of law.
Democracy taught us that minority have a right to have their say, but majority must have their way. This is a universal truth.
Representatives of the Senate and House of Representatives acknowledged that party discipline is a critical component in a democratic nation and called on leadership of the party to reconvene the National Assembly in the interest of democracy.
If we have the leadership of the National Assembly divided between the opposition PDP and the APC, then we have to work so hard to ensure that our government is not sabotaged.
I'm not particularly happy that we are not able to hold our plenary today.
Okay.
And possibly tomorrow, because we decided some few days back that we are going to sit and consider those items that are very important and might likely hamper the functioning of the INEC.
We are going to make or push for very critical decision at this very critical time.
The leadership of the various parties that will make the request for reconvening of the House, of which APC is going to make a formal request for reconvening of the House, then the leadership will meet and then decide.
The meeting thereafter went into a closed-door session in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The federal government says the national agricultural policy being implemented aims at addressing challenges affecting food production and malnutrition in the country. This was stated at an event organized by the United States Agency for International Development on the policy, which says that the federal government is on the right path as far as the policy is concerned. Musa Baba Aliu has the report.
It is 3 years now since the federal government began the implementation of a policy known as the Green Alternative, a roadmap to sustainable agricultural development for the social and economic well-being of Nigeria. The policy serves as a guide towards identifying as well as providing solutions to most of the country's challenges as it affects crop production.
PRI is the leading major agricultural economics department.
This team of experts from Michigan State University and other institutions within and outside the country is in Abuja to review the impact of the policy with a view to providing support in areas of implementation.
Nigeria is moving to the right direction about the need to address effectively the key challenges associated with the Nigerian agricultural sector so as to unlock the amazing potential of the sector for growth, employment, food security and poverty reduction in the coming years.
Adu Ogbe, who is the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, says the policy direction and the dream of the administration is for Nigeria to be self-sufficient in the country's staples.
So we're making some progress, and today, instead of spending $1.6 billion a year importing rice, we cut down the imports by 90%. In the next 10 to 15 years, we must build at least 60 to 70 new rice mills, each capable of producing or milling 100 tons per day.
The United States Agency for International Development and the International Food Policy Research Institute have pledged to provide technical support and capacity building for all government institutions. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has felicitated with the senior pastor of the Dunamis International Gospel Church, Abuja, Dr. Paul Enenche, on his 55th birthday. The acting president, in his message at the occasion marking the day, reminded clergies of the great task of building a God-fearing people that will be committed to the service of God and humanity as dictated by prophets of the various religions. He urged them to pray for peace and security of the nation and to also continually emphasize to their followers on the need for unity and stability. There were prayers for the national and its leaderships. The occasion was attended by dignitaries. Among them was Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, Some other prominent personalities present include past governors and ministers. We now join Elizabeth in Lagos for more stories. Hello, Elizabeth, over to you.
Nice to see you, Kudu, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. Chief of Defense Staff has assured that the Nigerian Air Force is repositioning to tackle the threats being experienced in the country through capacity building for effective and efficient employment of air power. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olonishakin, stated this in Lagos during the Logistics Command's simulation exercise. Lynn Leneke reports.
The exercise, codenamed Omo Oloja, meaning the hawker, is one of the strategies by the Nigerian Air Force to enable personnel have practical experience in medium-scale airlift operations. The idea of exercising air logistics support is to enhance professional optimal utilization of scarce air resources in operations.
With an increasing awareness of what airlift could offer in terms of speed, reach and capacity, greater priority was given to the development of air transport, which has now become a significant component of the air order of battle, especially with the fast-changing nature of welfare.
Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, reiterated the importance of air logistics in executing any military operations, hence the continuous simulation exercises.
It is clear that the best planned operation could fail without a good logistic support, and hence the need to exercise logistic command from time to time to determine the effectiveness of our logistic support arrangements in support of Nigerian Air Force operations both within and outside the country.
Exercises such as this one will undoubtedly reposition the service towards addressing current and future security challenges, not only in the country, but also within the West African sub-region. In Lagos, Lynn Leneke, NTA News.
The Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board says it would divest its 30% equities for Modular Refinery into the Nigerian Stock Exchange in order to facilitate the development of the open downstream sectors of the oil and gas. Executive Secretary of the board, Simbi Wabuti, disclosed this after he sounded off closing gong of the market as a guest of the Nigerian Stock Exchange in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
The petroleum downstream sector remains a global commodity that drives economic growth and development. Towards expanding this development in terms of oil and gas into the Nigerian capital market, Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Simbi Wabote, said that 30% equities will go into the development of the 5,000 barrels per day modular refinery production.
What I see within the capital market, you have majority of the downstream players, the petroleum product players in the capital market. With the injection of Seplat into the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I see some bit of confidence boosting. And I think if we can get the upstream sector and the midstream sector to be part of the capital market, there is potential for the market to compete globally.
He said the operation will afford Nigerians the opportunity to purchase shares of the board from the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
In terms of what we do, and I think this is a veritable platform to bring about that visibility and also see how we can collaborate with the stock exchange in our future investment drive in terms of raising the game in the oil and gas sector. So this is quite significant for us.
He described the market as a veritable platform that will aid the visibility of up and mainstream sectors for investment. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead when we return. Stay with us.
Hot chocolate 3-in-1, a delicious combination of rich cocoa and wholesome goodness of milk. Just add hot water to get an instant chocolatey treat. Cadbury Hot Chocolate 3-in-1. Just add hot water.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, will be holding a roundtable conference titled Enhancing the Role of Auditors in the Nigerian Public Service. The conference target audience are directors of audit, heads of audit, senior staff members in the audit department in all the federal, state, MDAs, and local government areas. It will commence on Monday 27th through to Thursday 30th August 2018. Venue, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, Topo Badagry, Lagos. Conference fee, 85,000 naira per participant. This excludes lodging and feeding. Account name, ASCON e-collection account, payable to any commercial bank. Account number 023-0055-861019. For further inquiries, please contact Mr. G.A. Afolayan, Conference Director, on 003-318-2344, or Ms. M. Kuye, 006-000-6210. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Welcome back. Debt Management Office, DMO, is assuring Nigerians that the country's debt profile is still sustainable. Let's join Amina Nujen on Business News for details of these and other stories.
The Debt Management Office, DMO, has raised 410 billion naira from domestic capital market to fund the 2018 budget and maintains that the nation's debt level was still sustainable. The Director General of the DMO, Patience Oniha, at a press briefing in Abuja, also revealed that the nation's public debt stood at 22.379 trillion naira at the end of June, which is equivalent to $73.31 billion, of which 22 billion was external.
On behalf of the government, we've been able to support infrastructural development. If you didn't see what we were doing before, now you have seen Sukuk roads clearly labeled. You know that we're supporting infrastructure, a building of external reserves, lowering of domestic interest rates, and then more access to credit for the private sector.
She maintains that efforts by government has crashed interest rates to a region of 11 to 14% from about 18% last year. Available figures show that as at June 30, 2018, the ratio between domestic and external debt stood at 70 to 30 compared to 73 to 27 in December of 2017. Now from the equities market, the bearish hold persisted on Tuesday, the 14th of August, as market declines by 0.35%, with the O-share index closing at 35,288.23 basis points. Market capitalization stood at 12.883 trillion naira. United Bank for Africa, Lasaco, and FBNH were the most traded stocks. That wraps up business news. I am Amina Nujaim. Good evening.
Bright in Enugu has the next set of stories on NTA Network News. Hello. Hello.
To Enugu. Anambra State Elders Council has commended the federal government for initiating the process of refund of over 43 billion naira debt due to the state for its expenditure on federal roads and bridges. This is contained in a communique issued at the end of the council's meeting at the government lodge, Amobi, Anambra State. Ndem Kalu has the details.
In a communique read by the former Secretary General of Commonwealth and Chairman Anambra State Elders Advisory Council, Chief Emeka Anyoko, the council urged people in the various communities to take ownership of government facilities provided for them and ensure sustainability. The council also commended Governor Willie Obiano for the Choose Your Project initiative, which has continued to change the face of the communities in Anambra State, and urged the government to streamline the fund release process for the execution of the projects.
The elders, having across the various community challenges in the state, requested a special security funding for the community leaders to enable the leadership of various communities to sustain the community's security in special areas.
The council also expressed concern over the court-related killings in the state and urged the police to be proactive with their duties. From the Governor's Lodge, Amobia, Ndem Carlo, NTA News.
The strike force team of Nigeria Customs Service Zone C has impounded cartons of live cartridge ammunition and bags of unregistered banned drugs, including tramadol, at Night Mile Corner, Enugu. Nkiru Anyefino reports that 2 suspects were arrested with the goods.
Also impounded by the customs were a consignment of 2,010 pieces of hides and skin, as well as 370 bales of second-hand clothes. The live ammunition was found concealed in cartons of unregistered and banned drugs that were being conveyed along with other goods in a commercial bus to Taraba State, while the hides and skin were intercepted at the Enugu International Airport on its way out of the country. Deputy Comptroller Customs in charge of Strike Force, Kirawa Abdullahi, described it as the positive result of the Strike Force intelligence gathering.
Nigerian government has been able to place fantastic opportunities at the disposal of the trading public by making grants concerning export.
The suspects on interrogation said they were merely the driver and owner of the commercial bus and had no knowledge of the contents of the goods loaded into the vehicle. Meanwhile, the Deputy Comptroller said proper investigations will be carried out to ascertain the level of involvement of the suspects. In Enugu, Nkiru Anyefina, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Enugu Network Center. Let's now join Abdullahi in Kaduna for more stories.
Thank you for joining us here in Kaduna Bright. The Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, has solicited the support and cooperation of civil society groups in the ongoing fight against corruption in the country. Magu expressed worry over the increasing influence of corrupt elements on anti-corruption. Awal Salisu reports.
The chairman of the commission, Ibrahim Magu, was in Kano to hold a strategic meeting with relevant stakeholders and solicit their cooperation in tackling corruption. He met behind closed doors with senior editors of Kano-based media organizations. While addressing civil society groups, Ibrahim Magu said the fight against corruption should not be left in the hands of EFCC, hence the need for well-meaning Nigerians to join the crusade. He noted with concern how corruption is fighting back, but is optimistic that it will be defeated. The chairman of the FCC said, despite daunting challenges, the commission was able to secure 146 convictions from January this year to date. Ibrahim Magu solicited closer synergy between the commission and civil society groups in educating Nigerians, especially youth, on dangers of corruption. He said the society can no longer tolerate corrupt leaders, therefore stressed the need to bring out evils of corruption for the people to detest it. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Intelligence-driven crisis management strategy and security sector reform have been identified as a viable tool in combating terrorism in Nigeria. This was a thrust of presentations at a methodology workshop in counterinsurgency operations organized by the Nigeria Defense Academy in Kaduna. Suleiman Abdullah Gachukun reports.
Being a major internal security problem in Nigeria,
Efforts have been made by government and academic institutions with a view to finding possible solutions to the problem of insurgency. Stakeholders from various fields of strategic studies, including Victim Support Fund, are meeting at the Nigerian Defense Academy to come up with new methods of tackling insurgency in Nigeria.
A sure way to declutter the menu is through carefully planned and executed field work.
We occupy a very important and strategic position to be able to look more concretely, more in-depth at this issue.
Professor Isaac Olawale Albert of Center for Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ibadan, identified critical thinking, synergy among security agents, and information warfare as steps to nip the challenge in the bud. The workshop is expected to provide a roadmap for soft approach and quality control of the insurgency phenomena in Nigeria. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachkun, NTA News.
Many thanks, Suleiman there. Network News will now continue with Kudu in Abuja. Kudu, over to you.
Thank you, Abdullahi. Well, we will take another break. When we return, sports.
President Muhammadu Buhari in the face of the world, especially with dogged fight against corruption and developmental strides, is the thrust this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program promises to be decisive and educative. Don't miss it.
What makes a Nigerian?
Stakeholders at the summit again advocate